you have to cover. And when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
It'll be a 2-yard gain, and that'll make it 3rd and 1. They'll run here. It's Murray. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
Carl trying again on 2nd down. Completes it right side to Cooper. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. So Amari Cooper out of Northwestern High School in Miami making a nice play there.
And it's so funny that when I was going through the draft process when he came out of Alabama and was inquiring about him and his skills, they say it all began back in Miami. He really became a pro receiver at a young age because of his attention to detail and precision. But don't forget his athletic ability. That's what made that catch there.
He did spend 1 year with Teddy Bridgewater as his quarterback there, so that helped back in high school. Latavius Murray, the intended receiver, out of the backfield. 3rd down here.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9. And they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd. Throwing his car on 3rd down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. In not great starting field position here for the offense. Well, when someone other than the quarterback is throwing the football, it's either beautiful or a disaster, and here it was the latter.
Nowhere in between, right? I mean, you're exactly right. It takes some fortitude to call that type of a play, but when it doesn't work, oh boy, you wish you hadn't. First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
This is Crowell, and some room to maneuver. And he will go out of bounds up around the 45-yard line. A big play that time for Cleveland. 42 yards on the ground. Griffin going to give to Crowell. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
Most players will tell you that night games, while they can be fun, they're really hard to prepare for because you wake up on game day and all you want to do is get to the stadium and let's get going. But you got to bank that fire a little bit and hold it until the evening. It's almost like a Broadway premiere. Got to wait until the night.
And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Reggie Nelson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
Amari Cooper, his intended receiver, and now it's 3rd down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Here's Marquette King now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Taken at about the 36. That'll wind up being a 50-yard punt, though they do get 10 back on the return. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Heading out is the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better.
They'll toss it to Crowell. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And all the way down to the 10-yard line. A big play that time for Cleveland. 41 yards on the ground. Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Defense showing blitz. Following the penalty, it's Johnson. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And Griffin gives to Crowell. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll make it 3rd and goal. And now they're in the hurry-up.
But that certainly felt like an example of a defense just saying, okay, we've had enough. We've gotten mashed all night long. About time we got a good play in. But flip it over to the offensive side. They've got to be really upset that they allowed a play like that to happen. They were pitching such a great game, they want to keep it going.
And Parkey's kick is good. And they continue to lead in the battle of field goals here. It's now 9-3. So they get the 3 here, but you wonder whether that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, you've now made it so they need a touchdown rather than a field goal to catch them. But you're right. If they'd gotten 6 out of that drive, this would be a much different game.
The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Carr to throw on 2nd down. Forced out to his left. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
I think we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
Carr now on 1st down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking to get it into his receiver, Cooper, and now it's 2nd down.
If you're a defender, one of the fun things about playing zone defenses, especially in today's football, is that it's not as static as it was in the good old days, meaning you just drop to a point and react into the football. Now you end up with a lot of man-to-man principles once you get into your zone defense. In other words, get to your assignment and then locate a guy coming into your area, and then you end up covering him almost man for man. That allows him to make more plays on the football like the one we just saw there. Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
Time starting to run out here in the fourth. This defense just trying to keep the offense off the board and preserve this potential victory. From the gun now on third down, Carr. And this is caught. Amari Cooper. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
They run with Murray, and able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
He'll look to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. He was trying to get it to Seth Roberts, and it's 3rd and 4.
Well, that plays a statistic that's going to go on the defensive team stat sheet. Won't necessarily reflect in ours, right, the overall game sheet. But you and I know that they keep count on pressures, hits on quarterbacks, all those things, hoping to increase that throughout the game. And here we are in the fourth quarter, and they got a big one.
Yeah, it's such a close game, a very big one. 15 yards there on the scramble and a first down.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he does.
And with the play clock running out, Jack Del Rio is going to take a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. He's back to throw. And this is caught. It's Cooper. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Amari Cooper with time running out. And the Raiders are an extra point away from taking the lead. And he'll bang that one through. On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee, and they'll start things out at the 25. But now the Browns coming out on the field. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you've got a decision. Are you in field goal range, or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. Second down here after the incomplete pass. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up 3rd down.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their 3rd of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they missed a golden opportunity.
And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Here we go. It's Griffin on 4th down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Raiders are going to win the football game. And now here come the Raiders. This remains a 1-point game. The defense did their job. Now the offense here late, they just need to kind of hold on, seal this victory.
And the defense did it so well, didn't they? Didn't allow any points and got the ball back for their offense in order to close out this game. And
this will be caught Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown. So the first play of the drive, they strike through the air and score.
A lot of coaches like change of possession as a time to go ahead and strike, and that's what we saw there. Ball turned over.